When people talk about tactical shooters, one name that always stands out is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Vegas. While most gamers remember it on consoles like the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, fewer know that this intense counterterrorism experience was also adapted into a Java mobile game. Released in the late 2000s for classic keypad phones, the Java version of Rainbow was created when mobile gaming was still in its early stage. This wasn't touchscreen gaming. This was the era of button controls, tiny screens, and unexpectedly ambitious designs. The story follows elite operatives from the Rainbow Counterterrorism Unit as they respond to a massive terrorist threat in Las Vegas. A dangerous group has taken control of key locations across the city, including casinos, hotels, and public spaces, turning one of the world's most vibrant entertainment hubs into a war zone. As you progress through the game, you'll discover that this isn't a random attack. The terrorists have a coordinated plan to target symbolic and strategic locations in Vegas, creating panic and unrest. Even in the Java version, the narrative is revealed through mission briefings and in-game dialogue, creating a sense of urgency and mission. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Vegas might not have had the graphics or scale of its console counterpart on phone. However, it captured the heart of tactical combat, storytelling, and strategic gameplay in a way that few mobile games of that era could. For those who played it, it's an important piece of gaming history. At first play, Rambo on Fire feels exactly as the title promises: pure action, non-stop shooting, and intense survival. Inspired by the legendary Rambo action hero, the game drops players into the boots of a heavily armed soldier who must battle through waves of enemies in dangerous war zones. The story of Rambo on Fire is simple yet effective. You play as an elite commando sent deep behind enemy lines. Your mission is to eliminate hostile forces, destroy enemy bases, and overcome impossible odds. There's no complex dialogue or cinematic storyline. This is classic arcade-style gameplay. The story is told by way of action, explosions, and the constant pressure of survival. As the game begins, your character is deployed into hostile territory, surrounded by enemy troops. The objective is clear: fight your way forward. Each level is a different battlefield scenario, such as dense jungles, enemy camps, and heavily guarded military zones. The enemies are relentless, attacking in groups and employing vehicles and sometimes even heavy weapons. One of the most exciting aspects of the game is the weapon system. As you progress, you can pick up various weapons, such as machine guns and rocket launchers, as well as special upgrades that increase your firepower. These upgrades are essential because the difficulty increases rapidly. The game also includes boss fights that add an extra level of intensity. At the end of certain levels, you will face powerful enemies that require strategy and precision to defeat. These bosses often have unique attack patterns that force you to adapt and stay alert. It's not just about shooting, it's about surviving long enough to win. Aesthetically, Rambo on Fire reflects the limitations and charm of Java games. The graphics are simple yet effective, featuring bright explosions, clear enemy designs, and smooth animations for the time period. While the environments are not highly detailed, they effectively set the atmosphere, whether it's a jungle battlefield or a war-torn base. What truly defines Rambo on Fire, however, is its difficulty. This is not an easy game. It subjects players to constant pressure and limited resources. Players must manage their health, avoid damage, and ensure that every move counts. Completing a level, especially after multiple attempts, gives you a real sense of satisfaction. In retrospect, Rambo represents a unique era in gaming history. It reminds us of a time when games didn't require massive graphics or complex systems to be enjoyable. All they needed was a simple idea, solid gameplay, and a challenging aspect that kept players coming back for more. Cannon Rats was part of a wave of physics-based puzzle games inspired by the massive success of games like Angry Birds. However, instead of copying the formula directly, Gameloft added its own personality. A fast-paced, action puzzle experience where destruction is not just allowed, it's the goal. Designed for classic Java, the game features a small file size and simple graphics, yet surprisingly addictive gameplay. The story of Cannon Rats is simple yet fun and full of character. You play as a team of rebel rats on a mission to fight their enemies, mainly cats, and reclaim their territory and treasures. These aren't ordinary rats. In fact, they're quite brave and reckless, and apparently totally okay with being launched out of cannons. You travel through different themed locations, such as beaches, ancient ruins, and pirate ships, across the game. Each area is a new battleground filled with enemy structures, obstacles, and bosses guarding the path forward. The game includes multiple levels, each with around 16 stages and a boss fight at the end. As you progress, the levels become more complex with stronger materials, tricky layouts, moving obstacles, and hidden weak points. Sometimes brute force works, but often you need precision and planning, which is what makes the game addictive. Every level feels like a small puzzle waiting to be solved. Cannon Rats stood out because it blended humor, strategy, and destruction into a simple mobile experience. In Pirates of the Seven Seas, you become a daring sea captain navigating a vast and dangerous world. From the outset, the game plunges you into a life of piracy, where fortune and danger are inextricably linked. Your journey begins modestly. You are not yet a legendary figure feared across the seas. Instead, you start out as a relatively unknown sailor, eager to build your reputation and forge your own destiny across the oceans. The story unfolds in a fictional Caribbean setting filled with rival pirates, powerful naval forces, hidden treasures, and mysterious islands. Early in the game, you are given a small ship and a clear objective: survive, grow stronger, and make a name for yourself. As you progress, however, the narrative becomes more engaging. You start to hear rumors about legendary treasures scattered across the seven seas, treasures said to grant immense power, wealth, or even secrets lost to time. Over time, your character will transform from an unknown sailor into a legendary pirate. Back in the mid-2000s, Java-based games were everywhere. Devices from Nokia, Sony Ericsson, and Motorola dominated the market, and developers had to work within tight parameters: small screens, limited memory, and simple controls. Yet, the two thrones managed to deliver a surprisingly deep and engaging experience. This mobile adaptation is based on the Ubisoft console and PC game, but rather than trying to replicate it, the developers smartly reimagined the adventure as a 2D side-scrolling action platformer. The story follows the prince as he returns to Babylon with Kylena, the Empress of Time. Hoping to leave the chaos of the past behind, he instead finds his homeland under attack. The city is in ruins and war is everywhere. Tragically, Kylena is killed early in the story. Her death unleashes the sands of time once again, infecting the prince and giving rise to his darker side, the Dark Prince. From that point on, the story becomes a battle not only for survival, but also within the prince himself. Players experience both personalities, the heroic prince and the ruthless Dark Prince, each with different abilities and playstyles. The fighting is simple yet powerful. Enemies appear throughout the levels, and you must either strike at the right moment or perform stealth takedowns when possible. One of the most interesting mechanics is transforming into the Dark Prince. When this happens, the gameplay changes dramatically. The Dark Prince uses a chain weapon and deals more damage, but loses health over time, forcing you to move quickly and play aggressively. Even with pixel graphics, the game does an impressive job of creating atmosphere. Babylon feels alive, burning streets, collapsing structures, and enemies lurking around every corner. The sound design, though simple, adds tension and urgency. Combined with smooth animations for its time, the game feels more advanced than many other Java titles. Prince of Persia for phones is the perfect example of creativity within parameters. It transformed a rich, cinematic story into a compact yet memorable adventure. For those who played it years ago, it's pure bliss. For new players, it offers a fascinating glimpse into how developers pushed early mobile gaming to its full potential. If you ever get the chance to play it, don't hesitate. Sometimes, the smallest games carry the biggest stories. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into classic mobile games, please like and subscribe. Let me know which nostalgic game you'd like to see next. I'll see you in the next video.